So we're finally to step 5. We've made it all the way here. We've mapped everything out for our working group, for the way that we can truly be successful
Hmm.
at fulfilling our purpose statement that really connects to the overall vision statement of our network or partnership.
Right.
We sometimes don't ever get to this spot.
Or it may take multiple meetings.
Mm, okay. In in the multiple meetings, things are always changing. And
Hmm.
one of the problems that we see over and over, and we discuss it, is that our networks or partnerships become reactionary.
Hmm.
How do we shift that so that we stay proactive on this sort of strategic planning, if you will, or just really, it's not even strategic planning, it's simply really addressing the problems and not going overboard to becoming reactionary? What's the balance there?
Well, again, if we're talking network and partnership, and the fact that a partnership is a working group that's part of a network, I think the network, because it's basically a forum of information, they can tend to be a little reactionary because they're responding to the things that are happening in the context in country or whatever the case may be. The working group has a goal that's out there, whether it's, the purpose statement is multi-year.
Mm.
The action plan or the goal can be incremental as you begin to make incremental steps towards your purpose statement. So again, you get into the focus issue and staying true to how you came together.
Okay, okay, good. Objectives in this final session of coming together is to do something towards the
Mm-hmm.
goal. And I would encourage you, even if you see that you're running out of time
Mm-hmm.
potentially,
Mm-hmm.
and you're at a consultation, you have 2.5 days, and you're in that last morning. I might almost encourage people to skip to this so that it doesn't get completely
Right,
overlooked,
absolutely.
because the idea of I did something directly, I didn't plan, I didn't, strategize, I
Mm-hmm.
did something,
Mm-hmm.
is a big deal sometimes for some
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the activities surrounding this then? Um, Going back to that ownership, going back to that I have skin in the game
Mm-hmm.
concept,
Mm-hmm.
have them write down the purpose in their own words. We do this in a variety of different
Mm.
things sometimes where we're asked to personalize it. In this context, from your experience, again, almost rhetorical, but what have you seen? Why is this significant?
Well, I think that, if you put it in your own words, if you're talking about the purpose statement and you actually then feel ownership in it, and as you take these other steps about, gee, Joe over here or Muhammad over there really needs to know what's going on. And so you take that little incremental step that builds ownership. And frankly, ownership is the key.
Mm. So that's it. Then the second piece of discuss who else needs to be involved and informed. Um, how many times have we seen working groups where it's one or two people that do 90% of the work?
Yeah, I mean, often what happens, you have a large group and then you have a lot of discussion going on, and that boils down to two or three or four people that kind of walk away with most of the to-do list in their pocket. That's not the ultimate way to do it, but that's the way it really happens. I think this step of broadening out your contacts and immediately taking time to instant message somebody, to email them, to phone them is a great way to get involved and to build the number of people that are going to be in some way engaged in this particular purpose statement working group.
That's good. That's good. So as we do this, then we want to celebrate those contexts
Mm-hmm.
again. This theme of Thanksgiving, this theme of
Yeah,
prayer, and
yeah.
making it truly a part of what's happening, allows us to always keep in mind that God's guiding this and directing it.
Mm.
God's plan isn't fulfilled through relationships. God's plan is relationships. A lot of those key things really help us as we begin to really celebrate through some of these,
Mm.
and pray for the tenacity to do the work. the stick to itiveness
Mm.
that you're going to need to be able to do it. As we think about expanding the reach, as we think about the communication strategy that we talked about in the last video, we said keep it simple. And hopefully, this basic stakeholder analysis will help in that
Mm-hmm.
process
Mm-hmm.
of keeping it simple and yet personalized. I think that's an important thing. So, the way that a basic stakeholder analysis works is this, that you see you have an X and a Y axis of interest and influence. And so, within this, you want to look and think about the people that need to be informed or that the Lord brings to your heart and to your mind as it pertains to this, and say, okay, do they have a lot of influence? Do they have a lot of interest? Someone high influence. Give me an example of someone that might be high influence.
Well, it could be a CEO, it could be a funder, it could be, yeah, uh, it could be a middle manager as well in an organization. So they have multiple balls in the air and they're
Mm-hmm.
very busy.
Mm-hmm. And to use, I believe it's Gladwell's language, a connector, someone
Mm-hmm.
that
Sure.
has that potentially is high influence as
Yeah.
well, and then someone that would be high interest may have really low influence
Mm-hmm.
potentially, but a
Mm-hmm.
really high
Mm-hmm.
interest might be someone that's really a frontline worker,
Yeah.
might
Sure.
be somebody that has a little bit of extra time, and this is just an area of passion for them
Mm-hmm.
where they've just
Mm-hmm.
felt the Lord leading. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about the Lord gives us certain passions, and this
Mm-hmm.
area for the working group might be that for someone.
Yeah.
And ideally, you want your working group leaders to be in the far upper hand
Sure.
corner
That'd
there.
be
That,
ideal.
that's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
But realistically, there's going to be people that aren't in that box. And
Mm-hmm.
so coming up with a strategy of saying, hey, you're high influence, I want to keep you informed. I want to tell you this is the purpose of our group and this is what we're doing. I look forward to reporting back in about 6 months and
Mm-hmm.
telling you what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, what would that communication look like, an initial communication to someone that has high interest?
Well, the high interest side, you'd maybe go into a little bit more detail
Hmm.
and you'd say, this is what we're doing. Uh, and in a sense, recruiting that person.
That's it.
Hey, maybe, Mary, I know you're really great in communications and writing. We could really use your help. Is
Mm.
this something that interests, that
Yeah,
type of stuff.
exactly, exactly. Ask them to join. So when we end this session, we don't want to end it simply in saying, you know, uh, this is a place where we're not going to just celebrate. We're not going to just pray at the end of this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're going to pull out our laptops. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
pull out our phones,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to call those people. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to engage them directly to let them know that hey, we are meeting right now, and maybe we can tell them where we're meeting, maybe we can't, but we're meeting right now, and I thought of you. The Lord brought you to my heart, to my
Mm-hmm.
mind, and I wanted to share with you what we've discussed, what we're doing, and then again make it contextualized. Is it an influencer or is it someone that's high interest?
Right.
But engage them right there, because there's just something if you get somebody that tells you, hey, the Lord brought you to my heart, the
Mm-hmm.
Lord brought you to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so do that. If you take the time to go through these 5 steps and really engage in these 5 steps as a working group leader or facilitator, you will see that the accountability, that the reach of what you're accomplishing is going to be exciting. I think the
Right.
Lord's going to do powerful things.
Mm-hmm.
But the last phrase on there is sometimes the hardest. Do the work.
Yeah, it is.
Do the work and make the decision. Know that you have the support of the rest of the network and partnership supporting
Mm-hmm.
you, but do the work. And it's been a pleasure. Hope this helps out as you continue on your journey in this. Visit visionsynergy.com or synergycommons.net. I'm sorry, visionsynergy.net or synergycommons.net to check out more resources available to you. Thanks. Wow, I checked on the last thing.
Yeah.